Right, let's turn to this now. With a housing backlog exceeding 400,000 units, the Johannesburg Social Housing Company's efforts seem to have fallen short. In March 2023, the former Human Settlements Minister confirmed the city's crisis to be sitting at over 400,000 units that still needed to be built. Now, this shortage has forced many to seek shelter in hijacked buildings. For more insight on this conversation, we're joined now by the MMC for Human Settlement in the city of Johannesburg, Mlungisi Mabaso. MMC, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. Where does the figure sit now? In 2023, we were talking 400,000 units as a backlog. It's now 2025. Are we still looking at that same number, or is there more now that needs to be built?
Thank you very much, Butao. Greetings to yourself and the viewers at home. I think I need to put things into perspective, especially around the backlog in the city of Johannesburg and the business model of our Johannesburg Social Housing Company. The backlog that we have in Johannesburg only talks to the subsidized units, the BNGs. The social housing and the low-cost rentals, we do not have a waiting list. Well, we know that there is a demand in the market, but we are unable to account for the number of the people that are in need of the social and low-cost rentals, because we do not have a waiting list for that particular program, and for obvious reasons that the allocation is based on the affordability and based on the socio-economic impact, the affordability changes, and that's why we do not keep the waiting list with us. But with the RDPs, yes, we do have a backlog which is estimated at 400,000, and the number is growing because people, they register on daily basis. You still have informal settlements that are still growing in Johannesburg. So yes, the number has not increased, has not decreased. The number is actually increasing.
So you're saying the JOSHCO program is not to address the backlog of social housing and low-cost rentals. What is the JOSHCO program aimed at addressing?
Well, the JOSHCO program aims to deal with the accommodation of those that are in the gap market, which is the social and low cost. But we are unable to determine the backlog in the market because we do not have the waiting list. So the allocation is based on the affordability, and the highest number of applicants that we have received so far at JOSHCO was 30,000 applicants. We have not received anything beyond that. Hence, I'm saying it's very difficult to determine the exact number of people that are in need of social and low cost, because we do not keep records of the people that are in need.
So either way, you are also working towards addressing the backlog of the 400,000 units?
Well, the 400,000 talks to your BNG. So the people that we account in terms of the waiting list is those that have applied for RDP houses. And that 400,000 talk to those that are in the waiting list for RDP houses.
Now, let's talk then about the complaints that are being raised now around the JOSHCO program. One, they're saying it is not transparent. Two, it is favoring a certain group, and the criteria for selection is vague. What is happening in the program that is raising these concerns?
Well, the criteria is prescribed in the Social Housing Act. You must be a South African citizen. You must earn between 1,850 to 22,000. JOSHCO uses online application, and after that we ask for supporting documents. We do the vetting and screening, and we check affordability. Then you get allocated into a unit. So it does not look into the ethnic group or racial groups. So it only looks into the citizenship. So if you are a South African, then you qualify. If you earn between 1,850 to 22,000, then you qualify. So I saw the article there, and one of the people who was raising that was with the city for more than 18 months. And I wonder why he was not able to address that if he had identified it as a problem.
Yeah.
Because with our system, that does not exist. Our system does not know the color of a skin. It only looks into the documents that are submitted, and it approves based on the information and the documents that are submitted.
Yeah, over and above the salary scale of 1,800 to 22,000, what else does the vetting process entail? Because some would say, well, I fall within that salary scale, but I still am being refused. And it's been 24 months that I've been trying, and now I'm eventually giving up.
Well, it also checks we look into the credit checks. So if you have previous debts that you did not pay, and if your expenses exceeds your income, it also looks into all that. And that's why after the application, we ask for supporting document to look into the proof of your income, we look into your expenses to determine the affordability, because that's what the Social Housing Act actually dictates to us, that we need to look into the affordability, and our allocation is based on the affordability. And that's the only thing that we look into, because even people that are not working, but they can prove that they've got income to support their living conditions, we also accept them for so long that the system can actually prove, and your supporting document can actually prove that you can afford to reside in our properties, then we allow you to stay.
How much capital expenditure funding are you giving to JOSHCO as the Department of Human Settlement a year? And is this money well spent in your view?
Well, JOSHCO is one of the social housing institutions that have demonstrated capacity. We've got 36 properties that we are managing with over 9,600 tenants, and all the investment that we have actually done in the entity has produced positive outcomes for the city of Johannesburg. Yes, in the last financial year, the allocation of the entity was reduced from 900 million to 300 million. We are working towards addressing that. We are introducing more projects so that we increase our capital investment in the entity. We also receive a capital assistance from SHRA, but they only fund 70% of the total cost of the construction. So we are working with SHRA in some of the developments, but the city also support and finance some of the capital projects within JOSHCO. But currently, we are sitting at 300 million allocation that was done in the current financial year. But with the introduction of the new project, we will see the increment on that money that have been injected by the city.
MMC, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. Mlungisi Mabaso, the MMC for Human Settlements here in the city of Johannesburg.